What is the most serious crime you have gotten away with? One evening, our friend Jake texted us in our group chat, excitedly sharing that he had purchased a new car with his parents' assistance. He invited us to go for a drive, but many of our friends declined due to finals week. However, I enthusiastically agreed, and so did my friend Dante. To our surprise, Jake arrived in a brand new Audi A7. I hopped in, and we proceeded to pick up Dante around 11 p.m. We engaged in our usual activities, such as smoking, drinking, cruising around town, revving the car, racing other drivers at traffic lights, and flirting with girls we found attractive. Since the car only had 2 seats, we placed Dante in the trunk, which had a clear view of everything as it was not separated from the main area of the vehicle. We had fun screeching to stops, drifting around corners, and tossing him around in the trunk. After a few hours, we grew bored and decided to drive down a highway towards a suburb of our town to see what was happening there. Throughout the journey, Jake kept talking about how he had no idea what the car's top speed was since the governor had been removed. In response to his curiosity, I suggested, "There's nobody around, just step on the gas and find out." Jake took my advice, and we accelerated rapidly, surpassing the sparse traffic. Dante and I laughed while recording videos, while Jake announced the increasing speeds. 130. 135. 140. At the precise moment Jake mentioned 140, I turned my camera to capture a passing sign, intending to demonstrate our high speed. To my horror, right beneath that sign was a police officer monitoring traffic. We zoomed past him, completely oblivious. Dante must have also noticed the officer because he immediately began to panic. At that moment, far behind us, the police lights flashed on, catching Jake's attention. Panic filled the car as I tried to remain calm and guide Jake. By that point, we were already pushing 150 miles per hour. Jake screamed, "What do I do? What do I do?" In a moment of sheer stupidity, I yelled, "Keep your foot on the gas until we reach the next exit leading to the back roads." And so, we found ourselves in a real police chase. We had been in similar situations before, but never alone. It was usually at house parties that got busted when 3 cops would walk in, and 50 intoxicated teenagers would scatter in every direction. This time, however, it was different. We were the target, not just participants in a disrupted gathering. Jake urgently called for someone to connect the police scanner to the car's audio system. Dante quickly accessed the app as I used my Maps app to provide Jake with directions. Through the speakers, we heard the distressing message, "All available units respond. I am pursuing a vehicle traveling at an extremely high rate of speed." At that moment, my heart sank even further. This was really happening. I instructed Jake to gradually slow down as we approached an upcoming turnoff that led to a maze of winding country roads. We nearly shredded the tires as we took that right turn at 45 miles per hour. I informed Jake that the road ahead ran straight for about a mile before ending in a T-shaped turn. He floored it. Amidst the deafening engine noise, Dante's panicked voice barely reached me. We raced down that 2-lane road in the middle of nowhere, going 120 miles per hour. Jake's headlights illuminated a sign ahead, indicating the road was coming to an end. With screeching tires, I shouted, "Left! Left! Left!" We careened around that corner at an absurd speed and continued our escape. After half a mile or so, we realized that there were no red and blue lights behind us since we exited the main highway. Jake cautiously reduced speed to the posted 55 miles per hour limit, and we all breathed a collective sigh of relief. At that point, we were eager to hear updates on the police radio. Yet, silence greeted us. Dante's phone had died. We scrambled to connect another phone to the car's audio system as quickly as possible. While we were setting it up, Dante shouted from the back, "Guys, get ready. I see headlights." Jake and I, lost in our foolishness, laughed and called out to Dante, mocking his paranoia. "Come on, dude, you're just being overly anxious." "Relax," Dante insisted that those were police headlights. I retorted, "Look, if it were the police, the scanner would be going crazy right now, but it's completely silent." Just as I turned up the volume on my phone, the first words I heard sank my heart even further. "I'm tailing him. He's heading southbound. Waiting for backup to close in on the driver. I haven't obtained the license plate yet." Those last words were a blessing. I glanced at Jake and shouted, "No license plates. Step on the accelerator." In an instant, panic enveloped both the car and the police scanner. We raced down the dark 2-lane road, reaching speeds of 150 miles per hour at times. Dante's repeated expletives filled the air. Over the scanner, the officer screamed, "They're fleeing again. I'm losing sight of them. I'm losing sight of them." We found ourselves in an area where I had some knowledge of the roads. Without a map, I guided Jake using rough estimates. Through a series of rapid turns and straight stretches, we heard over the scanner, "I have completely lost them. Last seen heading south." Hearing those words brought me immense relief. Not only had the officer fallen behind, but they hadn't managed to record our license plates, and we were actually heading north. After a few anxiety-filled miles, I told Jake, "Listen, they're setting up a perimeter for us. Just pay attention to the radio. There's no way we'll make it back to town without getting caught." Both Dante and Jake agreed, and I directed Jake onto a secluded lake road, far from any main routes. It pained me to hear the car's tires crunching on the dirt, gravel, and potholes as we slowly made our way down, with all lights turned off. We traveled about 7 miles, which took nearly 45 minutes, before pulling the car off the road and into the woods. We sat there, savoring the remaining alcohol we had. It was a much-needed moment of relief. The following day, we cautiously made our way back home. We adhered to the speed limit, signaled at every turn, and followed all the rules meticulously. Throughout the morning, we were tailed by 4 different police cars. They must have known it was us. Each one followed us for several miles. However, we knew we couldn't run. It was broad daylight, they now had our license plates, and the traffic was heavy. Remarkably, we were never stopped. They hadn't recorded our plates during the chase. Although it may have been obvious that we were the ones from the previous night, they were unable to take any action. In our minds, we felt like geniuses. We concocted a story that we had just come from a friend's house down south and were on our way to the mall in town, that we had been at home all night. Fortunately, we never needed to use it.